Okay, so far we have learned in the first session how the young lawyer, with the help of the hack driver, uh, whose name was actually Bill, well, you see, they were trying to find Oliver Lutkins, the person whom the young lawyer was supposed to serve the summon. Okay, they first went to Fred's shop, then Gustav's barber shop, then Grace's barber shop, then the pool room. But everywhere they were behind him, behind Oliver Lutkins, and they just missed him. And they never, so far they are not able to find him. Okay. Anyway, so we pursued him just behind him, but never catching him. For an hour till it was past 1 o'clock. I was hungry. Okay, since it was past noon actually. That's why the lawyer was quite hungry. But I had so enjoyed Bill's rough country opinions about his neighbors that I scarcely cared whether I found Lutkins or not. You see, so far he was in a way mesmerized by, hypnotized by, you can say, Bill's talking. Okay, he was so impressed by Bill's personality, behavior, nature, that he is, in a way, forgetting his real intention, finding Lutkins. Okay, and since he was hungry, so he is suggesting, how about something to eat? I suggested, let's go to our restaurant and I'll buy you our lunch. Okay, so he's suggesting that why not go to a restaurant, and he's also suggesting that he would pay the bill actually. Well, I ought to go home to the wife, but Bill said that he had to go to his wife because he always eat homemade food actually. So I don't care much for these restaurants, only 4 of them and they are all bad. And Bill said that they have only 4 restaurants in New Malin, and according to Bill, each one is bad actually. Tell you what we'll do, we'll get the wife to pack up a lunch for us. She won't charge you more than $50, and it would cost you more a greasy meal in a restaurant, and we'll go up to West Hill and enjoy the view while we eat. So Bill is suggesting that, you see, why not go to my wife and she can prepare our lunch, and she will charge just $50, over $50, and it will still be cheaper than you are going to pay in a restaurant. Okay, it will be cheaper than a restaurant. And he's also suggesting that they will take lunch in West Hill, and they could enjoy the scenery while eating. Okay, I know that Bill's helpfulness to the young fellow from the city, is referring to himself, was not entirely a matter of brotherly love. Okay, he knew that Bill is not doing everything for charity actually. Okay, he will of course charge money. I was paying him for his time. In the end, I paid him for the 6 hours, including the lunch hour, at which was then a very high price. But he was no more dishonest than I. I charged the whole thing to the firm, and he is. You see, the young lawyer is paying Bill for his time. You see, the meal also, but he is not worrying because he will charge the entire amount. Okay, to the law firm. Okay, the law firm will pay whatever he had spent in New Malin. Okay, so but it would have been worth paying him myself to have his presence. His cheerful country wisdom was very refreshing to a country boy like myself who was sick of the city. And since the lawyer too belonged to a village, that's why he liked the way Bill was talking. Okay. As we sat on the hilltop, looking over the pastures and creek which slept among the trees, he talked of New Million and painted a picture in words of all the people in it. So while they were talking, while eating their lunch, Bill was narrating about New Million and its people. He noticed everything, but no matter how much he might laugh at people, he also understood and forgave their foolishness. You see, Bill turned out to be quite an observer, and he noticed everything, and he criticized the mannerism, the specific mannerism of the people, but still, you see, he was quite understanding. Okay, of course he criticized, but he, you see, and he knows, point out the fault. Okay, the funny side of their nature, but still he seemed to be quite understanding. Okay, he noticed. Okay, and he also forgave their foolishness. He described the minister's wife who sang the loudest in church when she was most in debt. Okay, for example, Bill has noticed that when the minister's wife is in debt, sort of money, you see, he always sings the loudest in church. He commented on the boys who come back from the college in fancy clothes. He told about the lawyers whose wife would never succeed in getting him to put on both a collar and a tie on the same day. Okay, and he made them all live. So his description about the people was quite lively. On that day, I came to know New Million better than I did the city and to love it better. So, from what Bill told him, he now know more about the New Million than the city he used to live. Bill didn't know about the college and cities, so Bill doesn't know, he doesn't have any experience about the college life and the city life. But he had traveled around a lot of the country and had a lot of jobs. From his adventures, he had brought back a philosophy of simplicity and laughter. He strengthened me. So he had different kind of jobs, so he was quite an experienced person. He traveled, the countryside. So he can talk about, quite a bit about, a lot about the countryside. Country way of life, but he doesn't have any, knowledge about the city life. Anyway, we left that peaceful scene of meadows and woods and resumed our search for Oliver Lutkins. After lunch, they again started finding, searching Oliver Lutkins. We couldn't find him. At last, Bill cornered a friend of Lutkins and made him admit what he guessed. Oliver's gone out to his mother's farm, 3 miles north. So, from Lutkins' friend, they got the information that maybe Lutkins is in his mother's farm, which is 3 miles away. We drove out there laying plans. I know Oliver's mother, she is the terror. Now, on the way, Bill, is talking about Oliver's mother. He said that I knew her. Bill said, I took a trunk out there for her once and she almost took my skin off because I didn't treat it like a box of eggs. She's about 9 feet tall and 4 feet thick and quite and quick as a cat. So she can talk. Bill's description about Oliver's mother. 4 feet, thick, and 9 feet tall is quite exaggeration, but still he could make the young lawyer believe. I will bet Oliver heard that somebody is chasing him and he has gone on there to hide behind his mother's skirts. And according to Bill, Oliver is hiding there. Bill told the young lawyer that he may guess that somebody is chasing him. That's why he is going to. He went there to hide. Well, we'll try hard, but you'd better let me do it, boy. You may be great at literature and law, but you haven't had real training in swearing. And Bill told him that that woman, Lutkin's mother, is quite ill-tempered. Got it? And the vocabulary, the swearing words, she used, and you see, the young lawyer wouldn't be able to match, okay, with her vocabulary. So better he be allowed to face it. We drove into a poor farmyard. We were faced by an enormous and cheerful old woman. My guide bravely went up to her and said, "Remember me, I am Bill Magnuson, the carter and hackman. I want to find your son Oliver." I don't know anything about Oliver and I don't want to, she shouted. Okay? It was Bill who approached her, and when wanted to know about her son, she said, "I don't know anything about Oliver." Okay? Now look here, we have had just about enough nonsense. This young man represents the court in the city, and we have a legal right to search all properties for this Oliver Lutkins. So he says that, they had the right to search the property, okay, for Oliver Lutkins. Bill made me sound very important, and the woman was impressed. She retired into the kitchen, and we followed. She seized an iron from the old-fashioned stove and marched us on shouting, okay, brandishing the iron. Of course, they were following following her, but suddenly what happened? She took an iron from the stove, and brandishing that iron, she seized them out of the house. You search all you want to, if you don't mind getting burned first. She shouted and laughed at our frightened retreat. "Let's get out here, she will murder us," Bill whispered outside. Now Bill too seemed a little bit scared by her sudden outburst. Outside, he said, "Did you see her smile? She was laughing at us. Somehow she was mocking at us." Okay. I agreed that it was pretty disrespectful treatment. We did, however, search the house. Since it was only one story high, Bill went around it, peering in all the windows. So, Bill went around the house, peeped through the window. It is a one-story building, so they were almost searched the whole house. And then we examined the barn and the stable. They examined the barn also outside and the stable. We were reasonably certain that Lutkins was not here. It was nearly time for me to catch the afternoon train, and Bill drove me to the station. So they failed, you can say, in his endeavor. It was almost time to catch the afternoon train. So Lutkins thought it's better call it a day. Okay, better stop searching Lutkins, otherwise he will miss the train. On the way to the city, I worried very little over my failure to find Lutkins. He was so impressed by the experience of the day, the behavior of the hack driver, that he just didn't worry about his failure in finding Lutkins. I was too busy thinking about Bill Magnuson. Really, I considered returning to New Malian to practice law. So he was even thinking about returning to New Malian to practice law. If I had found Bill so deep and richly human, might I not grow to love Fritzl, Gustav, and 100 other slow-spoken, simple, wise neighbors? And he thought that if he find Bill so impressive, he was so impressed by Bill, he will also be impressed. He would also like other people like Fritz, Gustav, Gray, etc. Okay, so he was just very seriously considering why not settle in New Million and practice law. Okay, I pictured an honest and happy life beyond the strict limits of universities and law firms. I was excited. I had found a treasure. I had discovered a new way of life. So far he was so impressed, greatly impressed by the way of life in a countryside like New Million. Okay, but if I didn't think much about Lutkins, the office did. Okay, I found them all upset when he reported about his failure. Okay, of course, everyone in the office they were upset. Okay. Next morning, the case was coming up in the court, so it was quite, Lutkins was quite an important witness. In the next day, the case was coming up in the court, and they had to have Lutkins. I was a simple, useless fool. That morning, my promising legal career almost came to an end before it had begun. So they were so furious that he was about to be fired from that legal firm. The chief almost murdered me. He was so angry. The chief was so angry that he was metaphorically he almost murdered him. Okay, he hinted that I might do well at digging ditches. Okay, in spite of practicing law, why not you start digging ditches? Okay. Drain. Ditches means drains. I was ordered back to New Million, and with me went the man who had worked with Lutkins. I was rather sorry because it would prevent my loafing all over again with Bill. And this time he had a companion, a person who had previous experience with Lutkins, who worked with Lutkins. Okay. When the train arrived at New Million, Bill was on the station platform near his car. So as usual, he was there with his card in the platform, Bill. Strangely enough, that old tigress, Lutkins' mother was there talking and laughing with Bill, not quarreling at all. Now, to his utter surprise, he was shocked to see Lutkins' mother talking, laughing, you see, with Bill. From the train steps, I pointed Bill out to my companion and said, "There's a fine fellow, a real man. I spent the day with him." Okay, from the step. Okay, when they were just, getting off, he pointed Bill to the Bill. Okay, to Bill, to this companion that particular delivery man was quite a fine person, and I had spent the previous day with him. He helped you hunt for Oliver Lutkins? Yes, he helped me a lot. He must have. He is Lutkins himself. So this was quite, you can say, a thunderclap to the young lawyer. He could never imagine that the Bill himself was Lutkins. Okay, he was the person who, you can say, took him for a ride actually. Okay, and Bill was impersonating Lutkins. He never had that idea. Okay, what really hurt me was that when I served the summons, Lutkins said his mother laughed at me as though I were a bright boy of 7. You see, and when he at last served the summons, the thing that hurt him most was that there was no sign at all of regret, okay, or embarrassment. Okay, they were quite happy, seemed quite happy. Okay, and with loving kindness they begged me to go with them to a neighbor's house for a cup of coffee. I told them about you. They are scared to look at you, said Lutkins joyfully. They are about the only folks in town that missed seeing you yesterday. So at the end also, when their identity was discovered, okay, still they were playing practical jokes, okay, with the young lawyer. So that is the story actually. The story is all about how the hack driver could deceive the young lawyer. Okay, you see the Lutkins is impersonating himself as a hack driver, and together he and the young lawyer spend all the day, you see, finding the witness Oliver Lutkins. Okay, so you see from the story we know that the young lawyer, maybe he was quite educated, but he was so simple and he was so, you can say, you see, innocent sort of person. And that hack driver is, you see, he was quite, you can say, expert in pretending somebody he is not really. Okay, and anyway, he was quite successful in his act. The young lawyer didn't have any idea, you see, and he never failed. You see, he managed everything. Okay, you see here, the whole villagers supported him. Okay, his mother, his wife, everyone. Nobody told him that he was actually the person you are looking for is actually Bill himself. Okay, everyone got amusement. They got fun at the expense of the young lawyer. Anyway, thank you. I'll provide you a note. Okay, bye.